Hello and welcome to the practice today. My name is Crystal and we'll be doing a chair stretch practice just to get our muscles stretched out a little bit. So if you're feeling stiff or anything like that today, this is a great practice for you. We'll be using a chair today and a wall. So if you have a chair, you may want to set it next to the wall. We will be standing and sitting. If standing's not accessible for you, you can remain seated the whole time and just mocking the movements that we do with the feet and the legs and the arms. So when you're ready, just go ahead and take a nice seated position, planting both feet flat on the floor. If your feet don't meet the floor, you can put a blanket underneath just to bring the floor a little bit higher to touch the bottom of the feet. Resting the hands in the lap, both sit bones are planted firmly in the chair. And just sit up nice and tall. Really create length in the spine, creating length right out through the neck and out through the crown of the head. So just beginning to settle in to our practice today. Becoming nice and comfortable. And just allowing ourselves this time and this space, giving yourself permission to take this time for yourself. Relax your shoulders away from the ears. If you feel comfortable here, you can begin to close your eyes or maybe soften your gaze. Find a point to stare at. Soften that gaze. And then just bring your awareness to your breath. Just noticing it. You don't need to change anything, just noticing the inhales and the exhales. Listening. Becoming aware of the chest rising and falling within each inhalation and exhalation. Become mindful of the earth beneath your feet, feeling grounded down, the chair beneath your sit bones, your thighs beneath the palms of the hands. And now maybe we begin to deepen the breath. Slow, controlled breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Noticing the sound of each inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale breath, we'll slowly begin to welcome in some movement. So the next time you inhale, let's just turn the gaze over the right shoulder. As we inhale, we're just going to turn the head gently to the right. And on the exhale breath, we come back through to center. And on the next inhale, we look over the left shoulder. Exhale comes back to center. And again, inhale to the right. And exhale back to center. And last time on the left side. And we come back to center. Inhale as we reach out through the crown of the head, creating length. And on the exhale breath, lower the chin down to the chest. Feeling a nice stretch through the back of the neck. And then from here you may begin to make half circles, rolling the head from side to side. Bringing the left ear to the left shoulder, the right ear to the right shoulder. And if the neck allows, maybe you do full circles here. Just remember to go in both directions if you're doing full circles. Continuing the slow, controlled breathing. And taking that with us today through our practice. Next time you come through center with the chin to the chest, just end that movement, and on your next inhale, we'll rise the head back up through center. If the eyes are closed, maybe we bat them open now. And then we're just going to take some cat-cows now, warming up the spine. So from this position, you can bring the hands to the front of your chair, to the sides of the chair. Whatever is most comfortable for you. Maybe they even stay in the lap. On an inhale breath, we'll send the chest forward, lifting the chin, arching through the spine. And on an exhale, we'll reverse this movement. And the hands may shift a little here. Rounding through the spine, the chin lowers to the chest. Inhale the breath. Send the chin high, open the chest, broaden through the collarbones. And exhale as we begin to round, lowering the chin to the chest. And just creating these movements, moving with your breath. Allowing the breath to initiate the movement. Really, you can take any movement here that feels good for you. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's what feels good in your body. You can take as much movement as you'd like here, or as little movement as feels good. And next time you pass through center, we'll end that movement. Coming back to a long spine, sitting up nice and tall. From here, let's take a nice cleansing breath. Bringing the arms out to the outside. Inhale, reach all the way overhead. Exhale the arms down. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale out the nose. Last one, inhale. Exhale down out the nose. And this time we're going to take the right arm, holding on to the side of the chair, and inhale the left arm up and over, and reaching overhead, taking a nice side stretch here. So you can hold any part of the right side of the chair for stability. So just doing a nice side stretch, keeping that left hip planted. So reaching through the fingertips. You can even take the gaze to look underneath that right arm. Opening up the left side body. Breathing into the space between each one of those ribs. Take one more inhale. Exhale the arm down. The left hand comes to the seat. Inhale the right arm up. Reach it overhead. Gaze looks underneath. Keep reaching through those fingertips. Really stretch it out. Inhale, create space in those ribs. One more inhale breath. Exhale as we come back up to a seated position. Now let's go ahead and just lift up this right foot, point the toes, and then flex, point, flex, point, flex. One more time, point, flex. And now let's scrunch those toes up, send them nice and wide, spread them apart, scrunch them, spread them apart. You might hear cracking, and that's okay. Spread them apart. Now let's just do some ankle rolls. Same thing, you may feel some popping and cracking. Our feet get neglected sometimes, so you always want to show them some love. And then go back in the opposite direction. And stop, and we can place that foot back down, move it onto the other side. Lift in the left foot, point that foot, flex it, point, flex, point, flex, point, and flex. One more time. Keep it flexed, scrunch those toes, scrunch, send them wide apart, spread them apart, scrunch them, spread them apart. Next time they're spread apart, let's do some ankle rolls. And then go in the opposite direction. And end that movement, lower the feet back down, place them nice and firmly on the earth. And while we're at it, let's give our hands and our wrists some love. So we'll do the same thing. Send those fingers nice and wide, make fists. Wide fists. And then just do some wrist circles now. Getting into the wrist joints here. And then the opposite direction. And you can end that movement, placing the hands back down. We're going to come to a standing position at this time. If you're unable to stand, you can stay seated in your chair, no problems, no worries. Come on and come to a standing if you're coming with me. I like to turn my chair. You can bring it so the back of the chair is facing you, which most people probably would like to do. If you're able to fold deeper, you're more flexible, you can have the seat facing you. It's your choice. And the wall to your side. So I'll start with the wall on my left-hand side. So the chair, I'm facing my chair. The wall is on my left side. So let's just begin with some cleansing breaths. We're standing with the feet hip-width distance apart. You can lift those toes up off the ground. Spread the toes nice and wide apart and then plant them back down. Feel the grounding in the earth. Imagine your feet have roots going into the ground, where you're a tree with the roots going into the ground, really supporting you, holding you here on this earth, okay? So you're the tree, the feet are the roots. We'll take some cleansing breaths here. Inhale, the arms overhead. And exhale all the way down. Again, inhale. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale the arms down by the sides. So we're going to come right into it. Let's place the hands right onto the chair back. And we'll step the right foot back, probably about 1 or 2 feet. So we're using the chair for our support. So from here, let's just check in with our hips. And we want our hips to be squared with the chair. So imagine the left hip sending back and the right coming forward. Now you may feel a stretch already down the back side of that front leg. And you can stay right here and let that stretch happen. Come back to your slow, controlled breathing. Or you may go ahead and fold down a little bit more. You can even come down to the seat. Just go to where you feel that gentle stretch. And then we'll hold there. And come back to that controlled, gentle breathing that we did at the beginning of the practice. Just allowing our bodies to do its work. Again, giving ourselves permission to relax. If you can, maybe you fold just a little bit more. And then when you're ready, gently make your way back to standing. And we're going to put the weight into our front leg and step that back leg behind the front leg. So the feet are crossed. And from here, we're going to take a gentle fold forward. So folding from the hips, we'll fold forward, keeping a nice flat back. So just go where you can go. So maybe right here, and that's okay. This is a little bit of a different sensation from a normal forward fold. Just notice where you're feeling those sensations. Go ahead and hold there. Sending your fresh oxygen down the legs. Notice if you're clenching or tightening anywhere within the body, maybe the jaw or the forehead. See if you can invite those areas to loosen up a little or to release that tension. And then when you're ready, slowly make your way back to a standing position, keeping the legs where they are. And I'm a little too close to my wall for the next one. You could place the left hand that's closest to the wall on the wall if this feels comfortable for you. So if any of this is uncomfortable, please, you can skip any of these poses that don't feel comfortable or you don't feel stable in. We'll inhale the right arm up overhead. And we're just going to reach, and we're sending this right hip out and away from the wall as we reach the left arm overhead. So just getting a nice side body stretch again. The gaze can again go underneath that right arm. Coming back to our breath, let's keep breathing, keeping it controlled. Soft. Slowly rising back up, arms come down, we uncross those legs and maybe just shake everything out. Coming back to our chair, placing the hands, both hands on the back of the chair. Walk the feet back. Keep taking little baby steps back as your head starts to come down in between the arms. So we're trying to get to where the feet are below the hips. And you can send the head down in between the arms. Again, if we're not there yet, that's okay. If this is where you're at or here, you can always bend the knees. So this is a downward facing dog variation using the chair. And this pose is great for opening up the shoulders and the chest. So just let the head hang heavy in between the arms here. Try to get nice and comfortable. It's going to take about 3 to 5 breaths here. So once you're comfortable, try to come back to that nice oceanic sound of your breath. Unclenching the jaw, relaxing the face. One more breath here. Slowly begin lifting the head, taking steps forward. Once you get close to that chair, let's bring the chest through the arms here. Open up the chest, lean into the chair, maybe the heels lift. Maybe the chin rises, opening the chest, opening up the throat. Coming into a Cobra variation. And then gently releasing to a standing position. Coming all the way up. And again, we can shake all of that out. And then we're just going to turn and move to the other side. So you'll want to take your chair, move it right over to the other side. That way you can use the wall again on that side stretch. So coming on to this side, we're going to step back now with the left leg. About 1 to 2 feet, whatever's comfortable for you. Again, you can adjust the chair wherever you need it to be. This may be enough. You may be feeling that stretch coming up the back side of the leg right here. And that's okay. If this is where you're at today, this is where you will stay. If you want a little more, you begin to hinge from the hips, coming forward. So I'm feeling a stretch in my back calf, and as I fold, I'm feeling it all up and down this front leg. Then you check in with these hips. Imagine drawing the right hip crease back and the left forward. Find a comfortable edge for you where you feel the stretch, but you're not in any pain. You're feeling a slight stretch, and we'll hold that position. Using the breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the nose. Maybe you can fold a little deeper, even if it's only a centimeter. Last breath here. Your next inhale breath, slowly begin to rise up. And we're going to lift this back leg and bring it behind the right. So the feet are crossed at the ankles. From here, we'll take the right hand, place it on the wall for support. Inhale the left arm up and overhead. Send the left hip out away from the wall as we reach the left fingertips towards the wall, getting a nice side body stretch. Reach those fingertips towards the wall. Maybe the gaze goes under the armpit. Keep breathing here. Next inhale, we rise up, releasing the arms down by the sides, uncrossing the legs. And we're going to take that modified down dog one more time here. Both hands come onto the back of the chair as we slowly begin to walk the legs out behind us. Feet hip width distance apart. Lowering the head in between the arms here. Ankles come below the hips. Releasing the head now, down in between the arms. You can let that head hang down, really opening up the shoulders. One more final breath here. On your next inhale breath, lifting the gaze, slowly walking the feet forward. Once you get closer to the chair, let's start sending the chest through the arms, lifting the chin, opening the throat, sending the collarbones nice and wide. Coming into a modified Cobra, just countering that shoulder opener. Gently releasing, you can shake that all out. And we're still standing. I'm going to bring my chair in front. We're going to come into wide. And actually, I'm going to turn my seat towards me. That doesn't help, but we're going to send the feet wide. So the feet will be wider than hip width distance. So whatever's comfortable for you. Some people may be wider, some are not as wide. The toes are sending forward or maybe slightly turned in. So from here, let's bring the hands to the hips. Spine is tall, reaching up through the crown of the head. And then we're slowly going to begin to fold from the hips, keeping the spine long, folding as much as you can. So I'm bringing my hands to the seat of the chair. Your hands may be on the back. I'm going down on my forearms here. Fold as much as you can, keeping a flat spine. Okay? So use that chair for your prop. Once you get to your edge, we'll hold here. And let's just take note. Notice where the weight is in your feet. Is it in the heels? Now just see if you can maybe shift that weight to the front of the feet. To the pads on your feet. Just notice how that changes the sensations. So from here, whether your hands are on the back side of the chair or on the seat, I want you to take the right hand and place it below the face. The left arm will reach out to the side and just reach as high as you can up to the sky. And lower it back down. And the left hand now will come below the face and we'll reach the right arm up to the sky. Just a gentle twist here. And lower it down. Placing both hands now either on the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. From here, let's take the toes and turn them slightly outward, kind of do a diagonal out to the sides of the room. And we're going to shift the weight to the left leg, bending into that left leg. Feeling a stretch now in the straight leg, inner thigh, and shifting over the weight to the right leg. Lunging into that right leg, and now coming back to the left. And then shifting back to the right. Maybe you can come up onto the fingertips. Maybe the hands can come to the legs. So we just begin to shift from side to side, lunging from one side to the other. Maybe you can make your stance a little wider. So just do what feels right in your body today, for your practice today. Just getting in on those inner thighs a little bit today. If it feels good, you can hold on one side. And then move over to the other side. And then just straightening both legs, and we're going to heel toe the feet back together so we're hip width distance apart. Flat spine, coming to a complete standing position. From here, let's take some deep breaths again. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale down. Let's just recenter here. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Let the palms touch overhead. Exhale the hands down to heart center here. Allow the palms or the thumbs to touch the sternum. If you're comfortable, maybe the eyes close. And just take a moment here to notice the way the body feels now. Maybe you feel the same as when you started the practice. Maybe you have different sensations. Just become aware of those feelings. Next, inhale breath, rise the palms overhead. Exhale the arms down to the sides. And we're going to come back into our chairs. Coming back to a seated position. Just going to take a hip stretch, maybe a shoulder stretch here. Just starting to wind down our practice for today. From our seated position, again, we have both feet planted on the floor, and if you need that blanket underneath, you can go ahead and grab that. Both sit bones are planted. We're going to take a seated pigeon pose. So if you have tight hips, you may just start with crossing the right ankle over the left. If you're a little more open, you could begin to bring that right ankle up onto top of the left thigh. So this may be where you're feeling that stretch in that right hip. Sitting up nice and tall, stay right here, flexing the right foot. We begin to breathe. Maybe you can encourage this right knee away from the body. If you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, you can slowly begin to fold forward with a nice flat spine. And again, we just are using our breath to encourage the entire body to be soft, to unclench, to not hold any tightness, to release any tensions. The hips can hold a lot of emotional baggage, for lack of a better word. So this can bring up some emotional feelings sometimes. That's okay. And when you're ready, if you've folded, come back up to a seated position. You can cross that right leg completely over the left. If you have ankles crossed, you could stay in that position. From here, we're going to come into our eagle arms, taking the arms out to the sides, airplane type arms, and then we'll cross the arms in front of the body. The right arm will be under the left. Cross as much as you can, and then that right thumb comes up to the nose, and now bring the left palm, the back of the palm, to meet the back of the right. Stay here, or you can bind. Should feel a nice opening through the back of the shoulder blades. As you breathe, as you inhale, think of lifting the elbows. And as you exhale, think of sending the palms away from the face. Take one final breath here. On the exhale, slowly release the arms out to the sides. Release down. You're going to uncross the legs. Maybe you shake out the arms. You can roll the shoulders, front and back. Go both ways. And then we'll move on to the other side. So again, you could start by crossing the left ankle over the right. Or you can go ahead and bring that left ankle to rest on the right thigh. You'll notice right away one side may be different than the other. So you may be doing something different on this side. Be sure to sit up nice and tall. Both sit bones are on the chair. You can encourage this left knee away from the body. The left foot is flexed. If you'd like more of a stretch, you can begin to fold forward from the hips. So instead of just rounding the back, keep that back, the spine nice and tall. Fold from the hips. Inhale fresh oxygen down to that hip space. Exhale away all that tension. If you've folded forward, slowly begin to rise up. You can cross the left leg completely over the right, coming into our eagle arms. The arms come out to airplane or T position. Crossing them in front, this time the left arm underneath. Cross as far as you can, and then the left thumb comes up to the nose, back of the palm comes up to meet, and then you can bind if that's available. Inhale the elbows up, exhale the hands away from the face. Relax the jaw, the teeth, the shoulders down away from the ears, the toes, the forehead. Inhale the elbows up. Exhale the hands away from the face. Last breath. On the exhale, release the hands, unwind, uncross the legs. You can shake it out. Maybe roll the hips a little bit or the shoulders, front and back. From a seated position, feet flat on the floor, let's bring the right hand to the outside of that left knee and just twisting gently over to the left. Maybe your gaze goes over the left shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall, inhale, tall spine. Exhale to twist a little more. Slowly come back to center. Left hand comes to the outside of the right leg. You can bring that right hand to the back of the chair. Inhale, we grow nice and tall through our spine, out the crown of our head, and on the exhale, we twist to the right. The gaze can stay neutral or look over the back. Slowly coming back to a neutral position. We'll move into our final pose of the day. Moving into Shavasana, maybe the most important pose where we allow our body to rest in total stillness. Really allows our body to reap the benefits of each one of our poses. So we'll go ahead and get nice and comfortable. In our seats, you're welcome to lay on the floor in traditional Shavasana. You can lay on the floor, put your feet up on the chair or up on the wall for legs up the wall pose. Wherever you're at today, we're going to get nice and comfortable. I like to sit back in my chair. Feet are still nice and grounded on the floor, both sit bones into the floor. This time I'm going to rest my palms on my thighs with the palms facing up for receiving. The shoulders are nice and relaxed down away from my ears. And if you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes here. Make any adjustments of your clothing or your position to become nice and comfortable where you'll be able to sit or lay for a few moments in stillness. can just begin to feel that energy from your feet, from the ground beneath you, the earth beneath you. Or if you're laying down, feel it all on the back side of your body. Coming up from within, from below, coming in within you. Rising all the way up, through the legs, the knees, the thighs, to your hips, relaxing down. And just allowing your body to surrender just for a moment. Allow everything to relax. And let your shoulders melt down and away from the ears. Feel your head become heavy. Your eyelids are heavy. Your cheeks are melting down your face as your jaw softens and maybe opens a little. If any thoughts come into your mind, just acknowledge them and then just allow them to slip away with your next breath. Take a moment here for yourself, a moment here in stillness, a moment here in Shavasana. And now bring your awareness back to your breath. Noticing your chest as it rises and falls. Begin to awaken the body by welcoming just gentle movements, rubbing your thumb across each fingertip. Roll out the wrists, wiggle the toes, maybe nod the head. If you're lying down, slowly make your way back to a seated position. Just coming back to where we started our practice today. Bringing your hands together the palms together with the thumbs touching your sternum. Thank you for practicing with me today. Hope to see you, hope you join me again soon. Namaste. You can gently bat the eyelids open. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day today or evening, whichever time you may be practicing. And I will see you again soon. Bye.